Breakups are the worst thing that you could possibly go through. But in this video, I'm gonna help you get prepared for how to have a better argument, discussion, or final conversation with your ex.
Being so much like your father.
Do not compare me to my father.
I didn't compare you to him. I said you were acting like him.
You're exactly like your mother. Everything you're complaining about her, you're doing. You're suffocating Henry.
First of all, I love my mother. She was a wonderful mother.
Just repeating what you told me.
Secondly, how dare you compare my mothering to my mother?
In this scene, we see people comparing each other. Oh, you're like your mother. Oh, you're like your father. This is immediately a personal attack, and it comes with a lot of emotional baggage. Even if we grew up with the best parents, we still had arguments, disagreements. Most people want to be better than their parents. First tip is not only to not bring the parents of the other person involved, but don't make it personal.
I may be like my father, but I am not like my mother.
You are! And you're like my father. You're also like my mother. You're all the bad things about all of these people.
When you're going through a breakup, you see the whole world through your ex. So when he says you're the bad of everything, it's caught up in the emotion of it.
Mostly your mother. When we would lie in bed together, sometimes I would look at you and see her and just feel so gross.
One thing that you'll see as this argument goes on is that the attacks become more personal and deeper.
People used to tell me that you were too selfish to be a great artist, and I used to defend you.
This is the stage of an argument where people start speaking in absolutes. It's so tempting to try to paint your loved one or your ex or the person that you're breaking up with as the reason for all the pain and suffering in the world, but they're not. You have to remember that you loved them at one point. You cared about them at one point. That's why you've entwined your lives together. And people are complex. People have good days and bad days. And when you sit here in an argument and you let your emotions cloud it and you start painting the person across the table from you as the bad guy, guess what? They become the bad guy because you've given them no other choice. You haven't acknowledged their humanity. You've made them into this caricature. You've made them into this villain. And it's way too easy for us as humans to assume that role.
You're a fucking villain.
Oh, you want to present yourself as a victim because it's a good legal strategy? Fine.
I cannot recommend mediation enough. If you are in a marriage and you decide, you know what, this isn't going to work, some common knowledge is you go get the meanest divorce attorney that you can get. I'm going to take everything from him. I'm going to take everything from her. Oh my God, is it the worst advice that I've ever heard? Start with couples counseling. If that doesn't work and you have to break up, my best recommendation is to go to a mediator. However, sometimes your spouse is not listening. They don't want to participate. If you need help, Not Your Lawyer is here to give you education, give you insights, but also we work with law firms all across the country. We'll get you set up with the best person that we can find in your state.
You wanted it until you didn't. You used me so you could get out of LA.
I didn't use you.
You did, and then you blamed me for it. You always made me aware of what I was doing wrong, how I was falling short. Life with you was joyless.
What, so then you had to go and fuck someone else?
You shouldn't be upset that I fucked her. You should be upset that I had a laugh with her.
If you do cheat, you really shouldn't admit to that. You know, anything that you say in a divorce proceedings might come up in a deposition. Definitely don't say, I cheated, and the worst part is that she made me laugh. You're signing up for more trouble, sir.
I was hot shit and I wanted to fuck everybody and I didn't. And you wanted so much, so fast. I didn't even want to get married. Fuck it! Fucking insane.
Never use a physical display in an argument during a breakup because things escalate so quickly. In this scenario, it would not be hard for her attorney to paint him as violent, out of control, destructive. And he's like, no, that's not true. Look, there's a hole in the wall. When you get to court, if it becomes adversarial, court is going to be a highlight reel of your worst moments. Never resort to violence. It will come back to bite you during a divorce.
And you're fucking winning!
Are you kidding me? I wanted to be married. I'd already lost. You didn't love me as much as I loved you.
What does that have to do with LA? What?
You're so merged with your own selfishness, you don't even identify it as selfishness anymore. You're such a dick!
Every day I wake up and I hope you're dead!
It does not have to be like this, especially when there's a kid involved. You don't have to give in to the sense of victim blaming, the sense of villain casting, and then you create this situation that spirals and spirals and escalates until you say something that you can't take back. I hope you die. I hope a bus hits you. It doesn't matter what happens after this. There are things that you say in the heat of anger, in the heat of passion, that once you say it, it's out there forever and you can't take it back. And they both realize it here. They both realize that they went too far. Breakups are tough. Divorce is horrible. There's a whole lot of life that both of you still have left to live. You have to treat the other person as the person you fell in love with, not the person that you're leaving. And if you do that, if you can still put the other person first in the breakup, it's going to be the shortest and the least painful breakup that you have. But when you try to win, when you try to beat the other person, you both lose every single time. It gets better. Figure out how to communicate better. Figure out how to love more and to show it. And I hope that your marriage story ends a lot differently than this one. Thanks for watching. As always, I'm here on Not Your Lawyer. Until next time, I'm Josh. Go tell someone you love them today.